Hey,
It's
hey,
the final
hey,
action.
the final faction, the Korg. Is that
That's
on
a
TV yet?
that's a throwback to what
Our Christmas
episode
episode.
episode
Dollar,
four. That'd be
dollars.
episode
It's a Dollar Tree Christmas.
so bad on so many levels.
Yes, the
So
Dollar Tree Christmas.
so we haven't done a show since the Friday CM Punk came back, right?
Yes. So last
So
week we did not do a show. Now we're hitting the ground running. We've got some stuff to talk about. Some stuff to talk about.
so what I told you to watch the other night was the Val Kilmer documentary called Val, which is on
Wow.
Amazon Prime. Which
Yes.
I did warn you and tell you it was very depressing. Which
It's super depressing, dude. It is so depressing. Like I like Val Kilmer. I had no idea he was in such terrible shape. I really
no,
didn't.
I knew he had throat cancer. I didn't think he was in that bad of shape though. But he can't eat because he has a breathing tube.
Yeah.
He's in really rough shape actually. But he's living, for lack of a better word. The documentary is really interesting actually because his kid reads it as him. He narrates
Right.
the documentary as Val Kilmer because Val Kilmer wrote the narration for the documentary.
And also like the reason there's this documentary, it's not just a documentary of like, a couple interviews with Val Kilmer. It's probably 65% home video footage, and he's got cases upon cases of video.
What was it? A whole warehouse full of just
Like a
like
whole part of this warehouse. It's just like
full
it's so much.
of just like fucking videotapes and what are the old fucking style videos, like family movies that he took while filming other movies.
Yeah.
My
He's got
favorite,
video of like a really young Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon from a Broadway show that they did,
yeah,
like in
which
the 80s.
like the first thing, and he was pissed off about it because he wasn't the lead anymore because they signed Kevin Bacon and then they signed Sean Penn, and he got the comedic asshole part, which I mean, Val Kilmer always played the asshole, so it's kind of fitting.
Well, like,
Uh,
and then like there was a whole little part in the middle where they were like, "Oh, is he really like difficult to work with? Is he really that hard to deal with as a Hollywood actor?" And I never really got that impression from watching his movies. Like you can generally tell who's like a real difficult person on screen and off screen. And he's in so many movies and he's worked with so many directors. Like I feel like
I mean,
if
he
he was
was
really that much of an asshole, he wouldn't be working with all these people.
so just going through his movies, like obviously he was in Tombstone, which is probably his most famous movie.
Well, I mean,
Other
hold on, wait,
Top Gun, maybe.
right? So he's in Top Gun and The Doors
Yeah,
and Tombstone. Is Tombstone his highest grossing movie? It might be Top Gun
Top Gun probably, but he wasn't the star of Top Gun.
or
He was
actually Batman Forever.
uh, let's say critically successful and monetarily successful is probably Tombstone because Batman Forever made money, but it was critically panned. And then you had Doors wasn't really received well either for the most part. So I
Was
mean,
wait, was Tombstone receivable? I don't know. I mean, I liked it. It
I
was
think it, I think it,
74 on Rotten Tomatoes. So
yeah,
yeah,
there's not many highly rated westerns anymore. I mean, to be
there
honest with you,
was there was a weird period in the early
2000s open
no
range.
in the early 90s where you had Unforgiven, which won the Academy Award. Then you had Quick and the Dead. Remember
Yes,
that movie? And
I
then
do.
Tombstone, and then I believe there was also a Wyatt Earp movie
Excuse me.
with Kevin Costner, right?
Well, he did a lot
Yeah,
of West. He did Dancing with Wolves. That was in the 90s too, wasn't it?
right.
I
So
mean,
it was a
I
little
guess you can
thing
call
at the
that a
early
Western.
90s.
There's I read something somewhere how Kevin Costner just plays himself and he gave up after Robin Hood because everybody else in Robin Hood is British except for him, which makes no sense. But that's an interesting side point of Kevin Costner. K-Cos,
Yes,
man.
K-Cos.
K-Cos.
Spring Break USA, right? But
Was it Sizzle
for,
Beach, USA?
for Sizzle Beach, that's what it was. Sizzle Beach. Got it wrong. We're just
Throwbacks.
throwing back to old episodes here. So Val Kilmer's been in a bunch of movies. A lot of these movies really I haven't seen, and I'm gonna go back and I think watch a bunch of these. Like I don't think I've ever seen The Doors in
I,
full.
I own the actual the movie. I think I threw away the case and stuff, but I own the movie. I'm gonna go back and watch it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I think
How
he
did
was.
he not get nominated?
I don't know.
He was ridiculously Jim Morrison.
Yeah, yeah, it cost him to get divorced.
Right. Like if in this day and age, if that movie comes out now, it's Oscar bait. It's almost certainly going to get a nomination.
Well, I mean, that's what they're talking about with that Princess Diana movie, Spencer. They're
But
saying
also
that's going to lead to like
fucking Rami
anytime you.
Malek. That
Yeah,
movie sucked.
that movie was awful, by the way, and he was good in it, but the movie sucked. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That movie sucked balls.
But he didn't even get a Golden Globe nomination.
No, that's what I don't understand.
Val
So
Kilmer's never been nominated for a Golden Globe.
he also played John Holmes in Wonderland,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite movies too. Like, well, I favorite of his movies, I should say. I don't know if I've gone back and watched it in a while, but that was one of those movies that he played. He's done well in everything. But would I ever think of Val Kilmer as a thespian? No, probably not. But he thought of himself that way, clearly.
Right. I mean, that's why he took if you've ever watched any of his movies, The Saint, like he turned down the Batman and Robin to do The Saint because The Saint let him play like 30 different people in the same movie.
And
I actually really liked that movie.
I love The Saint. That was one of my favorite fucking movies.
It's not the best, but like I saw it like at the right time in my life when I was like young and like this is great. But he got a Golden Raspberry nomination for that. Like, come on, really? I thought he was pretty good in it.
I didn't think it was that badly rated, but maybe it was. I don't know.
Is the 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a really long time.
I liked it. I saw it within the last couple years. It was on Netflix or something. I'm like, let me watch it again. It's cheesy, yeah, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. You're not going to win awards with it, but it's a fun movie where he dresses up and does accents and characters and shit.
The guy who directed that directed Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, which is kind of surprising to me.
Philip Noyce.
He also directed. He also directed
Noyce.
Fucking duds, man. He directed The Bone Collector, Salt.
Well, like when I thought somebody more famous directed Tombstone, but I was totally wrong. It's some dude, George P. Cosmatos, who did Cobra and Rambo. Like, but you'd think it's Rambo 2, by the way. He would have done more, but not really. So why did he not get nominated in 91? Like, I need to know why no nominations for
what else came out in 91?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what else came out that year. It really didn't make that much money worldwide, and you'd think an Oliver Stone movie would have, especially in that day and age.
Yeah, you would think so, but I mean, I haven't seen it in many, many years. I mean, that movie came out, God, what, 30 years ago?
1991.
Right? 30 years ago. So I haven't seen it. I haven't easily seen it in probably 20 years. Easily. I can even picture the DVD in my head. It's a double DVD, and it's silver with that orange cover on it. So I can picture it.
Okay, so it came out March 1st, 1994, which not Oscar season.
No.
Best picture that year was Silence of the Lambs. And JFK also came out that same year as well.
Yeah,
so
it was never going to win.
No, I'm not going to say it was going to win Best Picture.
No. But you were going up against K-Cos, man. You can't.
You're going up. Oliver Stone was going up against his own movie.
Oh god.
JFK. Also, Bugsy nominated for Best Picture. That's one we need to throw in the.
Wait, did you say it came out in 94? Because it came out in
91.
Okay, but you said 94, so I was just making sure.
Did I say 94? I meant 91.
You just said 94.
I meant 91. Okay, so Best Actor that year, Anthony Hopkins for Silence of the Lambs. Okay. Warren Beatty for Bugsy. Nobody remembers that movie. Robert De Niro and Cape Fear. Nick Nolte in The Prince of Tides and Robin Williams in The Fisher King.
Well, it's true also is that JFK, the release date for JFK, from what I just looked up, was December.
Yeah.
And if The Doors came out in March, people forgot about The Doors real fast.
People forgot about it.
So, I mean,
yeah.
Which is...
If that gets a limited release in, say, December of 1990 and has to go up a previous year, which would have put it up against Dances with Wolves, he might have had a chance at getting a nomination here. Man, these are some really weird nominations. Richard Harris for The Field. You ever heard of that movie? In 1990. Never heard of that movie.
No.
And Jeremy Irons actually won Best Actor that year, but to not
For
even get a
for
Golden Globe
what?
nomination,
What did Jeremy Irons win for?
Reversal of Fortune.
Never even heard of that movie.
Yeah, maybe we need to watch that.
We never watched Kiss of the Spider Woman, so
I
we can't
mean,
go
we
back.
did. We just didn't talk about it.
Did you actually finish it?
No, I did not because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Movie fucking
I had
sucked.
to. We'll have to finish it.
Movie.
It's starting to get not as nice out, and we'll have time to talk about it here.
So
If
I'm
COVID
looking.
doesn't kill us all.
COVID's probably going to kill us all. But yeah, so Val Kilmer, obviously, he had a tracheotomy. I think he had his throat, part of his larynx removed. Is that what it was?
He can't talk no more. He's
He
got
can't.
he's got this thing in his throat, and he's got to push on it to talk.
He's got the.
He sounds terrible, and I really feel bad. Like I'm not making fun of him. This is just what he sounds like.
He's at the smoker's tube, basically. You know,
Pretty much. But the smokers usually have that machine thing.
Yeah. So, but that little button, yeah, I think you stick up against your throat. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be in pretty good spirits for somebody like him. So, it was the scene in there when they go to like this tombstone thing, which, don't get me wrong, that sounds awesome. I would go watch that live like that. That'd be fucking cool as shit, actually, I think. To go see Tombstone live and Val Kilmer would be there, I'd go do that.
He wasn't really there. He didn't stay to watch it.
No, he got, it looked like he got like, well, no, that was another scene where he got overwhelmed at like that Comic-Con or whatever.
Right, but he was like walking around wherever they were, the ranch or whatever they were having it, and talking about like how much he hates doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that anymore. It's just making him money. I mean, you have
to realize act anymore. No. What is he supposed to do?
Apparently, he's in Top Gun, which I mean, we talked about. You sent me that earlier that it got pushed back
again. Yeah. Apparently, he is, and he's admiral. He's an admiral now, which is as fucking high as it gets in the Navy. So we'll see how that goes.
Apparently, there's aliens in Top Gun now too.
Apparently, I don't know. It's never going to get released at this point.
They should just release it on Paramount Plus, dude. Charge me $10. I'd buy it.
Did you know that Kilmer was the voice for Kit in the Knight Rider reboot?
Yeah. Really?
Yes. When they rebooted it in 2008, he was the voice of Kit.
The original Kit. What's his name? The dude from Arrested Development took over. What's his? Will Arnett became the voice
of Kit. No, he was replaced by Val Kilmer.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, maybe I'm remembering that backwards. Then.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody watched that show. It was terrible.
I actually did. It was horrible, but it was Val Kilmer. I do remember Val Kilmer, but I couldn't remember if it was like I don't think I ever finished it, but I do remember. I probably have the pilot downloaded somewhere on my computer. I guarantee you, I probably do.
Still, it's been transferred from 5 computers, but
5 computers. Still have it. It's probably on this hard drive somewhere. I guarantee you. But
yeah, so there's movies on here of his that I've never seen, and maybe I need to have a little Val Kilmer-a-thon.
You know, we have you have Tom Cruise nights where you watch all Tom Cruise hits. Why not watch Val Kilmer?
Wait.
I used to back in the day.
I was like, you said we, like I've done such a thing. No, I've never done such a thing.
I'm sure people do that. You know, you watch Top Gun, Days of Thunder, you know, like whatever, Born on the 4th of July, that kind of shit.
But I want to watch the unknown, the ones that I haven't seen.
But I'm saying, but those are his known movies that we just never saw before.
Have you ever seen The Real McCoy?
No, but he's like a bit player in that. He's not even the main guy, I don't think.
He's the second lead.
Oh, is he? I didn't think he was the second lead.
Well, he's second build, I should say.
Isn't Kim Basinger like the lead in that?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Kill Me Again. Sounds good.
He was in, so I can tell you from the 2000s, I definitely saw Salt and Sea. Obviously, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is actually probably my favorite of his movies. He was awesome in that movie.
That's the best. He should have been nominated for more. If you haven't seen, this is 2021, it's been out for 16 years now. If you haven't seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and you like movies and you like Robert Downey Jr., you are doing yourself a disservice by not watching Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, that's a great fucking movie, by the way. Just so you know. What is it? Shane Black, right?
Yes. Written and directed by Shane Black.
And then Shane Black went on to do Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, and he's doing Predator now or something, right?
Yeah, which is weird.
Or he did a Predator.
He did a Predator, but it's like a whole Predator series. I'm like, why are you rebooting the Predator franchise?
Because it makes money.
He
It's an
did
overseas thing.
he did Spartan, which I thought was pretty good. That was another army movie kind of thing.
Well,
He
that was a
did
David Mamet movie.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Um I'm trying to think of any of the other. Tent and Wolf sounds familiar.
These are all any of these direct to video ones.
Random fucking
I'm gonna skip them.
Yeah, I mean the only reason why I even remember half of these is because of the video store, to be honest with you.
I don't remember him being in Deja Vu, and I've seen Deja Vu, so
Wasn't he his best friend or something?
I don't
Or
remember.
that movie is very vague to me at this point. I don't remember much about it. And that because I mash it together with Man on Fire and they're completely different movies.
I know, but they have like the same look. Like
Yeah,
the cover, they both have like
exactly.
this orange look to them.
Well,
Very
Denzel
orange heavy.
well Denzel Washington was also in another movie around the same time with Eva Mendes. I can't remember the name of the movie though.
Isn't that Deja Vu?
No. Well, she might have been in that movie. Maybe I'm throwing them all together. I don't know. Deja Vu. What was the other movie with him? I'm trying to think. God damn it!
Deja Vu, Man on
I
Fire,
thought it was some.
and
I thought there was something with blue in the title. But that could have been earlier.
Out of Time.
Yes, that's what it was. They were all in the same time period, and they're all basically the same movie. They were Man on Fire was a much better movie than those other two. Man on Fire is a great movie, and if it's on TV, I'll watch
Is it
it.
really better? Is it really the best of the three? I really liked Deja Vu.
I really liked Out of Time actually, but Man on Fire is just a solid movie, like one of those revenge movies. It came out around the same time as like Punisher, and it was better than Punisher, if that makes sense. It
Yeah.
had like that Punisher vibe, like vengeance vibe to it, and Punisher just kind of fell short of the mark. While Out of Time, well, not out of fucking Man on Fire, kind of just dove right in.
No, I
You
mean
know
Denzel had like this huge period in like the early 2000s where he was just in like fucking
everything
hit after hit. He wasn't in a lot of things, but man, he was just pounding out classics.
he did.
And then they've been forgotten. A lot of them have really been forgotten.
Yeah, he
Between Training Day in 2001 and American Gangster in 2007, he did 7 other movies in 6 years.
he made some solid movies in the '90s too. Don't forget.
Yeah, kind of.
He
He's
was
been in
in
a lot of stinkers too.
Pelican Brief, Philadelphia, Malcolm X.
Virtuosity. It's
He
not very
did.
good. It's not a very, devil in a blue dress. The
uh,
preacher's wife. Like that's like a romantic comedy.
John Q wasn't a. John Q was okay. What was the movie with? Wasn't he in the movie with Kevin Spacey, The
The
Negotiator,
Negotiator.
or is that Samuel L. Jackson?
That's Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah.
Well,
You're like, it sounded like I was just echoing you. You were just like a half a second ahead of me.
oh, he was. You know what movie he was in that was good, pretty good. I'm just reading through his like fucking basically his IMDb page, but Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg. That was a pretty good movie.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
It's like a buddy cop movie that's terrible. He's also playing. Remember, we talked about this already, but he's playing Macbeth,
Yes,
which
yes.
is interesting to say the least.
So back to Val Kilmer, and the most interesting part of the movie, right, was this when he was filming The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Correct.
So they come back. They actually go a little bit ahead, and then they come back to when he's filming this movie.
Well, preface this though by saying that his idol to be an actor
Marlon
was
Brando.
Marlon Brando, and of course, Marlon Brando at this point in his career is this fat slob who doesn't want to do anything. Okay, so he's filming this movie with his fucking idol, trying to get a rise out of him the whole time. And
I feel like there's more footage where they actually kind of do get along. There was that one point like where they were like chit chatting and stuff. He wasn't mad at Brando so much as he was mad at the fucking director.
well, yeah, the first director quit, and
No, the
then
first director got fired.
yeah, he got fired. But then the second one came in and was like some TV director or something that didn't have any experience or whatever, or he directed duds.
I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to see. Um, I'm trying to see here. Richard Stanley.
Yes.
This was his first big movie. Yeah, it was his first big movie. He hasn't done a movie since. So leave that. Take it as you will. But also, like right when filming started is when he got served papers, divorce papers.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, that movie was kind of
I don't, I
ridiculous.
don't think I ever saw it, but you can tell, and they don't say it outright. But he was in the movie with David Thewlis, who most people would remember from the Harry Potter movies.
Hmm.
That's where I remembered him from, and
Yeah,
he's just like you could see it in his face. He fucking hates being there.
yeah, he does not look happy.
He looks miserable, and like he's like, "Did you know we were doing this?" And yeah, I get it. Maybe Val wasn't in the best state of mind because he's getting divorced, but the director was being such a total dick. Like, yeah, he wants to rehearse. I want to rehearse right now. Let's rehearse. I'm ready. Let's go. The movie was just thrown to. He wanted to do the movie so quick and so fast, and just get out of there.
Basically, yeah. He didn't really want to be there, so I don't know why he was there to begin with.
Why didn't they just cancel the movie?
Probably had a lot of money in. Well, you know what's weird is that the budget for the movie is only like 40 million bucks. But I guess in 1996 time, 40 million bucks is expensive for a fucking movie that was going to be a dud. And I'm guaranteeing that most of that money probably went to Brando. Would be my guess. I don't know what his, whatever.
I don't know. I really don't. Like, I think there's actually a documentary about the filming and development of it. Maybe that's worth watching, called The Lost Soul.
I want to watch. We should watch that shit. Fucking stupid movie. It was not a great movie.
I don't think I ever watched it because I heard it was so terrible.
Once again, you're talking a movie that's almost 30 years old.
Right.
It's been a long time since I've watched, and even when I watched it, I probably did not pay attention because it looks boring as shit.
So the most notable thing to come out of the movie was that Mike Myers based Mini Me on one of the characters from the Island of Dr. Moreau. Basically, a miniature of Dr. Moreau.
So
That's what Mini Me was based on. So we got that out of that.
what's funny is we got to see Fairuza Balk, which I haven't seen in like 30 years. What has she been up to? I have not seen her in a long time.
Not doing anything.
She's almost 50 years old. God
I didn't
damn.
realize how many people were in this. Ron Perlman's in that movie. The
Yeah,
Iron Chef dude, Mark Dacascos, is in that movie.
that's got to be one of his first movies too. Ron
Who?
Perlman. Ron
Perlman?
Perlman.
Oh,
Like
he's been around a long time.
well, one
He
of
was
his first major movies, probably.
he was
80. Yeah, he was in some weird shit.
he was on Beauty and the Beast, the TV show.
Yeah, I remember that was a terrible TV show. Wasn't that Linda Hamilton?
Mm, maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it was Linda Hamilton.
He won Golden Globe for Best Actor for
Fucking
Beauty and the Beast.
ridiculous.
I'm not kidding.
Oh no,
1989.
I know you're not kidding. I believe you. It's just fucking ridiculous.
He beat out. Let's see here. He beat out Corbin Burnson on L.A. Law, Harry Hamlin on L.A. Law, Ken
Wow.
Wall on Wise Guy, and Carol O'Connor in The Heat of the Night. My grandfather loved that fucking show.
Heat of the Night was a good show, actually. It was before its time. It didn't deserve to be on back then in like the late 80s. It was kind of weird the way they set that show up. And they set it up. I mean, it was successful, but Carol O'Connor was predominantly known
Right.
as Archie Bunker, a major fucking racist. So, I mean, it's generally whatever it was.
So I definitely recommend watching Val if you have any interest in Val Kilmer at all. So
Even if you don't,
it makes him more likable.
it really does. But the weird thing that I didn't know that he did this Mark Twain one man show.
I want to see it now.
And now I do too. It looks amazing. But I'd never, and that the parts of the movie where he's not doing the show. He's just dressed up like Mark Twain, talking as Mark Twain, was the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
It's fucking great though.
But you just tell he's like in the world of his own almost.
I had no idea he had done anything like that.
No, but I mean, he kind of fell off the face of the earth a little bit there. He's making random fucking movies.
He was doing it on stage for a few years.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
I don't even know where you can find this movie to watch.
Is it a movie? Did they make a movie out of it?
They filmed it from stage show, yeah. So I don't even know where you could watch it.
I'd be interested in watching that because it looked like he really took the time to actually do it. It wasn't like half-assed. So he wrote it himself. So it's something like it was his like passion project, which to me makes it seem like he had a lot more in the tank. So who knows?
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
So it sucks what happened to him. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad it brought it back into the hindsight that all of the shit that he did before. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now you're not going to forget about Val Kilmer, and hopefully then maybe they'll make a sequel to it. You know, and they have a whole bunch of other footage, man.
Yeah,
You know, I
I want to see more footage from the island of Dr. Moreau.
I figured you would get caught up on that one because it was more. I was like enraptured by. I'm like, holy shit, he's getting into a fight with the fucking director right now.
Yeah, and Frankenheimer, he's done some big shit. He's not a shithead director.
No,
Although his last movie that he did sucked. That was Reindeer Games. But he did the original Manchurian Candidate and one of the greatest, most underrated movies in the 90s, Ronin.
yeah, that car chase in that movie's awesome.
Yes, the car chase.
Car chase is awesome.
He also
No,
did a movie called Year of the Gun.
not Way of the Gun. Way of the Gun's
No,
much better.
Year of the Gun. Very close. It almost sounds like it could be a sequel or prequel.
God damn, I haven't watched Way of the Gun in a long time. That might be due for reviewing. But the one thing that caught my attention in that movie too was he videotaped a really young Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You know, the premiere for Top Gun, and they're dancing and partying and shit. He's married to what the fuck is her name? He was
Oh,
married to somebody before Nicole Kidman. I can't remember.
he was married to Mimi Rogers.
Mimi Rogers, right? Which kind of it was funny to see because
I
they
don't know
got
if
out.
you I don't know if you caught when he was his date to the premiere was Cher.
Yeah, Val Kilmer's. I guess he dated. They must have
I
dated.
I don't know, but
Uh,
she was introducing him, and he said, "Here's Val Kilmer." God, yeah, so bad. Kilmer.
she had no idea who he was. That's fucking hilarious.
Zero clue.
I loved when Tom Cruise got out of the limo and he got out before his wife and his brother or cousin or whoever it
That's
is.
his brother.
His brother William Mapother, which is Tom Cruise's real last name, was walking with the wife, and the wife just looked so confused because Tom Cruise is fucking Tom Cruise, man. He's
But
gonna
like,
stand there
who was
sign shit.
filming that? If Kilmer was like getting out of the, who was filming that?
I don't know. That's a good question. Who's behind the camera?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's him.
Yeah, must have
So
been.
anyway,
Yeah.
moving on here.
All right.
I recommend it. Let's watch it. I'm gonna watch some more Val Kilmer. I'll let you guys know what I think about the other Val Kilmer movies. Maybe we'll rate them
Yeah, maybe
one of
we'll
these
do
days.
we'll do like a Val
It's
Kilmer
gonna be
rating.
real hard to overtake Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. We'll have Val Timber here.
Val Timber. That's a good one. I like it. I
Val
don't know.
Timber.
I have to dig through my DVDs now and find all the shit I have because I have all of these movies probably from the video store.
From the
I
video store, of course, right?
like Top Gun. I mean, I know I have. I don't know
You
what
get Top Gun on Paramount Plus.
what is Thunderheart.
I don't know. A lot of these movies I never heard of.
Dude, it's got Sam Shepard in it. It was produced by Robert De Niro. Like what the fuck? Like some weird fucking movies he was in. I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
anyway,
I'll
yes,
have to watch it.
he's in like. Well, we talked about. I still think Batman Forever is probably better than Batman Returns, but my hatred for Batman Returns is real.
The Batman Forever gets a boost from Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
Which and
They are better villains than Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
and you know what the funny thing is too, and we'll end it on this. We'll end Val Kilmer on this. He was pissed because he couldn't do more as Batman. He's in this fucking rubber suit. He couldn't do anything. He could barely move. There was no emotion. It was just his. They wanted him to make stupid faces with his mouth, and that was basically it. So he tried to do more as like Bruce Wayne and shit like that. But other than
Put his
that,
hands on his hips.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I mean, he's not wrong. He hated it. He's like, I don't
No.
want to do this.
Fuck that shit. Then George Clooney did it, and then that was the end of Batman for a very long time.
I feel like they've made it so that you can move in the suit now.
Well, I mean, honestly, and I think Ben Affleck's actually not a bad Batman. I mean, I honestly don't think he's bad. I think
He has the voice like Christian Bale, so
No,
it's automatically better.
he. I don't get me wrong. Christian Bale was good as Batman, but his voice was terrible. It
His
was like,
voice was terrible, but everything else but the voice is Batman.
I don't want to do this. Like with like Tom Hardy's Bane voice in the original cut of the movie, when you could barely understand what he said.
No,
Batman.
Batman.
Gotham City will burn.
Gotham City. Nobody knew who I
Uh,
was until I put on the mask.
okay, moving on. We can go. I can go on a tangent on that fucking shit show. That movie pisses me off to this day because it leaves so.
Batman Returns.
No, Dark Knight Rises.
Oh well, yeah.
It's not a solid end to that series. I mean, it was
Is
okay.
is there a third movie? And this is the tangent. Is there a third movie that is as good as any of the first two? The only one I'm not counting Thor 3, that doesn't count.
No,
But is there any
it
third
should.
movie where it's like better or just as good as 1 and 2? The only, I mean, Harry Potter. Did that
Not a
count? Probably not.
not a Harry Potter guy, but yeah, I mean, you could technically say that, but it's a continuation. It's
Yeah,
based
I
on a
know. And
book.
like also like the third Bond movie is Goldfinger.
Yeah. So I mean,
But
but
I
that's
can't
also
think of like
another
any third
8,000.
movie where it's like equally as good as 1 and 2. Or even like 75% is good.
What about the original Star Wars trilogy?
The second one's the best.
Yeah, I mean, but the third one's not bad.
The third
It's not.
one doesn't hold up on
It doesn't hold.
repeated viewings.
No.
Because they
Trying to
made
think.
because after at the time, sure. But then they made them brother and sister.
Uh,
And 30 years later, everybody's like, you know what? It's kind of weird, right? Like
a little bit weird.
they were like kissing and like love interest, kind of. But now they're brother and sister, and then you watch the others, and you're like, mm.
This is a little weird.
A little incesty for me.
Is Iron Man 3 better than Iron Man 2?
Yes.
Okay, so there's one. Honestly, so if we basically go on a fucking comic book tangent here, but I would say that what is it? So the third Captain America Civil War is better
Doesn't
than
count.
why? Because it's
It's
a
like an Avengers movie.
yeah, I guess in a
It's
way.
not just like a Captain America movie.
They turned those movies into like
It was like
political
Avengers
thrillers.
2.5.
It really was. It was so good. They got away with murder on that one, man. They used everybody in
Spider-Man,
them.
well, Spider-Man Far From Home, or was Spider-Man No Way Home, right?
God, we never even talked about that.
No, but that's going to be probably just as good as 1 and 2.
I think that's going to be if they do what they're supposed to do and they bring all these guys back and they're stop playing coy about it and it actually happens the way it's supposed to, like Tobey Maguire and
I
Andrew
feel like
Garfield.
Marvel movies shouldn't count though because there's threads of stories interwoven into other movies.
Well, I mean, if you put it this way, they have to count because they're movies. So I mean, regardless, you have its own series like Spider-Man. But I mean, if you're taking all these characters from other movies, then I guess you don't technically have to count them.
But like, they're like he's not just in 3 movies. He's in Civil War. He's in Endgame. He's in he's in all of these movies. Like not just Spider-Man movies.
True.
The same goes for Thor. Thor 3, excellent.
Thor 3 is better than the first 2 fucking movies total. Thor 3 is better than probably the first 2 of every other series. Fucking Thor 3.
I mean, I know we're only talking about that, but like, I feel like Batman drops after the second one every time they've done it.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
we've only done it twice, so
yeah, they've only made it. Well, they've made 4 original movies, and the second 2. I don't know. The second one is I don't know why it's rated so high. It pisses me off every time. But I mean, the third one I think is
because
campy.
at the time it was
something.
Something. It's one of
I
those
know.
ones that doesn't really hold up in retrospect.
No, every time it comes on, I think it's on all the time during Halloween. My kid
Which
watches
is weird
it
because it's a Christmas movie. You can argue that Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it does take place in Christmas. And Christopher Walken's in it. It's great.
If Die Hard is a Christmas movie,
Die Hard is a Christmas
Batman
movie.
Returns. We'll have to talk about Christmas movies this year instead of Christmas songs.
Christmas movies like Die Hard and Gremlins are my 2 favorites. Those are my top 2 Christmas movies: Gremlins and Die Hard. And probably The Night They Saved Christmas, but I haven't seen that.
Probably.
I haven't seen that movie in probably 30 years.
The Night They Saved Christmas?
It's a Jacqueline Smith movie from like the
What
80s.
even is it? I've never even heard of it.
You could probably find that movie on YouTube, but you wouldn't be able to find it anywhere else.
What even is this? It was a TV movie.
It's terrible. It was great. It's greatly terrible.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's talk about
Hey, I got an idea. I got an idea. Let's start our own football team and beat some high school kids. Think we could do it?
I mean, probably could.
The
This
answer is
guy,
no. The
this
answer is
guy's
no.
done it. This
No.
guy, what was his
They,
name? John something.
they didn't beat anybody. They lost 58 to nothing to a high school team. All these dudes were in their 1920s. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Bishop Sycamore.
Bishop fake sycamore
Bishop,
school.
like the priest bishop, and Sycamore like the tree. It's a school that doesn't actually exist. But in Ohio, they've got really loose rules on if you can qualify as a school or not.
It
They
sounds like
decided
a school.
they decided that these people, this coach, I should say, and his name is I don't even know.
He's also being sued for
Andre
100 grand.
Peterson.
Yeah, something like that.
Who decided he wanted to make a super school, a West super school, or I guess a Midwest, kind of like IMG Academy. Which, for people who don't know, IMG Academy is owned by IMG, which is an agency. So they have this extremely fancy prep, not even a prep school, really. They just have a football program. They don't even allowed to play in Florida. They're not allowed to play other Florida high school teams. They just go around the country and play other high schools. Nobody wants to play them anymore because it's like these are like the top tier athletes. They've been recruited from all over.
It's not just football; it's every sport, and they do whatever. I mean, they're like the best of the best. So they beat a bunch of adults. They beat adults. These people that they played, this fake high school, were adults. They were like in their 20s. Some of them.
Yeah, they were older than them. They beat them
Yeah.
58 to nothing.
58 to nothing.
They've had more success with baseball than they had with football, but they're still good in football. You know,
Obviously.
Here's people that they have produced either out of their high school or out of their professional training program. You ready? Because it's quite a list here. Jose Fernandez,
Shit.
Pat Burrell, Mark Burley, Adam Dunn, Josh Hamilton, Joe Mauer, Andrew McCutcheon, Gary Sheffield, Joey Votto, Ryan Zimmerman, Jose Ramirez.
Holy shit. Jose Fernandez one didn't work out well for them.
Let's not talk about that. But yeah, they made up this fake school. Nobody wants to play them. So this guy basically made up a fake school. They've been playing kind of a little bit here and there and getting their ass whooped.
They played 2 days in a row. They lost 2 days in a row.
Oh, they played Friday and Sunday.
No, I thought it was Saturday and Saturday. Or Friday, Saturday.
It was Friday and Sunday.
Okay, well, whatever,
And like, something was going viral on Sunday, and I was like, what is this? I don't understand. And then like by Monday morning, I understood. It was a list of the players' names. And like the coaches didn't even have all the players' names and didn't have their numbers. And some of the guys were the same number. Like, what even is that?
So fucking bad.
It's like where's my 30 for 30 on Bishop Sycamore? Like, when is that going to come out?
You know it's going to happen. I can't wait for it.
There is this secret underbelly of high schools that try to recruit from all over the country to have things like this, to get one game on ESPN or one game on some TV network as a feature. I'm going to get your kid, into a bigger college program, have them sent here. It happens in basketball all the time.
Well, yeah, basketball. It's predominant in basketball. Baseball, not so much. Football, I could see it happening more. But that's any sports. It doesngoing to matter. They get
the real shady underbelly. These kids are probably not getting a full education. There's going to be some.
I mean, you can't imagine that IMG is giving them a full education anyway. Maybe a little bit more than your normal college if you're a star athlete, but they're going there based on their athletic ability. So it's a little bit of you're getting what you don't pay for because you're a fucking athlete anyway.
I
So
mean, I
why?
guess it's kind of like Juilliard. You know,
Yeah, I
is
mean,
Juilliard a college or is it a high school?
I think it's high school, isn't it? Or a
Um,
pre college or something like that.
no, it's there is a pre-college part of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's real shady, isn't it?
A lot
I
of this
get
shit.
you want to have the best training and stuff for your kid and athlete and want to put them into the best college program and then hopefully they get a full scholarship. I just feel like it's really fucking shady.
So let me get this straight. We went from being against a fake high school football team built of adults to the against the actual legit high school built of real high school age students who are actually just good at sports.
I mean, these kids, I don't know.
I mean, I dude, don't get me wrong. I agree with you to an extent. Like, I, I wish that they would get the education they deserve, regardless of how good at sports they are. But at the same time, a lot of them just probably don't give a shit anyway, and their parents are like, "Wow, they're just seeing dollar signs."
Well, they
You know,
gotta pay to get them into these places.
I mean, you think they do,
Yeah, they
or they
do.
get scholarships for that?
No, they gotta pay to get into play for Bishop Sycamore.
No, no, no. I mean, like IMG.
I'm sure a lot of them pay. Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. I mean, I guess
or
if
or if they don't pay up front, they probably have a you have to agree to be an IMG represented athlete in the future once you go professional.
yeah, I wonder if any of these athletes are still represented by IMG.
I don't know.
Huh. It's just weird to me. And the whole situation. How do you get duped that bad though?
I don't know. How do you get duped that bad? Laziness.
Yeah, they didn't do their research. I know. I remember hearing. I was watching some clips on it, and I remember the announcer saying, "Like, we don't really know much about this Bishop Sycamore High School." I'm like, "No shit, you don't." They're like
Yeah.
fucking
Look,
old
look,
as
look
shit.
at that. That's the roster there. And that's
That's
about as good as I can get it there.
no, that's good.
Uh Look at that
Melvin,
roster. Like there's no numbers.
dude, is there?
There's no
How do you
numbers.
Melvin and Marcus Duncanson? Those are fake names.
How do you know? Like this is what and one dude's an athlete. What even position is that? Athletes. They're all athletes. What is this?
How did they not get? How did they not realize this?
I don't know, but like there's no numbers. How are you supposed to announce any of these people? Travis Bud.
uh,
I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to announce any of that. I really don't. And
yep.
speaking of sports, let's hop into our final topic of the evening. Our
Yeah.
final topic of the evening, and that'd be John Smoltz and Al Leiter, one Hall of Fame pitcher and one pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, pretty good. He was okay. But he one. So what's funny is one of them was a Met.
Didn't
And
Al
one of
Leiter
them,
win 200 games? Pretty good pitcher.
he was a pretty good pitcher. No Mark Leiter though.
Who's Mark Leiter?
His brother? I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I think it's his brother.
162 wins. So he's got the resume.
He lost
I got his resume.
as well though, so that's fine. How many you lose?
132. But to be fair, he did play for a lot of lousy teams. So
He played for the Mets in like the 90s, right?
yeah, he was good for the Mets though. 95 and 67. It's pretty good. But he played for
Yeah.
Toronto when they were bad.
True.
Well, not no. He played for Florida. Mm.
Did he win a World Series with Florida? Was he on that team?
Uh,
97 ish.
yes. And then the year after he went to the Mets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of people went to the different teams after that World Series.
Yeah, so they refused the vaccine, which,
Yeah.
By the way, the Buccaneers announced today that all of their players have been vaccinated, which includes Tom Brady. So if Tom Brady's getting vaccinated,
Get your goddamn vaccines, man.
and he's like Mr. Super Health, he's drinking like weird and eating weird shit. So now they're not allowed at the studio. And they won't be allowed in the studio. Apparently, they're still going to let Smoltz call a division series game, and they're going to appear remotely. Like, just get the fucking shot, people.
Like he just, I'm assuming John Smoltz doesn't have any underlying conditions anyway, so just get the fucking shot. It doesn't matter. You know, you're not gonna die from it. Fucking Christ.
I mean, it's funny because I could see Smoltz doing it more than Al Leiter. Uh, he's just got that kind of vibe to him, you know.
John Smoltz to me always came across as a bit of a dick. Even though I'm a Braves fan, he still came across as a bit of a dick. Al Leiter always seemed like a nice guy, and every time I ever watched him on the MLB Network, he always came across as like a normal dude. John Smoltz has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, you know,
Kind of. It's weird that he played for the Red Sox and the Cardinals, though. It's weird, right?
a little bit, yeah. And then he came back to the Braves and then retired. Oh, well, did he retire as a Brave or did he go back to the Cardinals? I can't
No, he
remember.
played for the Red Sox and the Cardinals in 1 year, 2009, and then left. That was
Yeah.
it. He was like, this is just weird.
John Smoltz. I remember. So I just speaking about John Smoltz. I remember when he became the like the closer for the Braves, and then he came back and came back to be a starter. It was the
Mhm.
weirdest transition back that I've ever seen. I know he was a starter before, and then he came. He was a really good fucking closer. Dude probably
He
would have
wanted to
closed
start
it.
again. He was more valuable as a starter, even
I
if he was a
guess.
good closer.
I guess, but I mean, he had that fucking lights out slider. Holy shit, man!
But you're
He,
talking, he was 4 years as a closer, right? So he pitched 285 innings in those 4 years. And then in 2005 through 230 innings. So yeah, he's way more valuable as a starter.
oh, I agree, but I'm just saying he would have probably racked up. He was still a Hall of Famer, so it doesn't really. It's irrelevant, really. But I mean, he probably would have racked up. I don't know how many saves did he get in those 4 years.
A lot.
Yeah, so I'm
He's
saying
got
he
100,
probably
he's got 154 career saves.
in 4 years he got 154 saves. Well, let's say
And
whatever.
1 year he only closed 20 games.
And I think part of that, I think he was hurt part of the year. I don't
Oh,
remember.
that's why he was closer, because
That's
he
why
was
he
hurt.
came out. Yeah,
And
he
then
came
he
out as a
finally got
reliever.
healthy again.
hmm So I mean, and
You might, I don't know if you'll ever see anything like that again.
no, probably not. I mean, now you see
You
a lot of
should, though.
you see a lot of long relievers now in baseball that can pitch more than one inning, and that's going to be the future of baseball. You're going to have these like starters going 5 or 6 innings or 5 innings, and then you have a long reliever go two, and then setup man and a closer.
But I feel like you should do that. Like maybe if you're hurt and you can't throw a lot, close for a little bit and then go back to being a starter once you are fully healthy.
Well, it worked for him. I mean, still a Hall of Famer. I mean, how many players have what does he have 200 plus wins and 150 plus saves? I mean, not many people have that.
I think him and Eckersley are the only ones.
Yeah, I mean, because Eckersley was a starter for a good portion of his career, wasn't he?
I don't know if he
In the
has
beginning?
200 wins though.
No, I don't know. That I have to. I'd have to consult Google on that one. I'm not sure.
Only pitcher to compile 200 wins and 150 saves. Only pitcher.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, obviously that got him into the Hall of Fame. If it wasn't for those 150 saves, he wouldn't have got into the Hall of Fame. Let's be
Eckersley
honest.
is 3 short.
Really?
197 wins.
So, how many games did Eckersley start though? We're
Eckersley
talking
had
early.
361 starts in his career.
Yeah, I mean, he in an early career, I'm assuming.
From 75 to 86, he was a starter.
Yeah, because he pitched well into the 90s, didn't he? Like
Yeah,
way
and then
into the
from
90s.
87 until 98, he pitched for 24 years. He was a closer.
Yeah. I was gonna say he
He
pitched.
won a Cy Young in 92 and an MVP as a closer. That's fucking crazy.
He was ridiculous, man.
51 saves in 92 with a 1.91 ERA and 80 innings pitched
In the AL,
in 92.
in
Won the
the
fucking MVP award.
he played predominantly his whole career was
That'll
the A's,
never
wasn't
that
it?
will never happen again, by the way.
Wasn't his whole career with the A's?
No, he was on a bunch of teams.
Like
He was on the Cardinals,
I was gonna say he was on the Cardinals because I think didn't he
Red
follow?
Sox, the Indians. He was on 6 teams, 5 teams.
Well, what did he do the 92? What was there on 92?
Oakland.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew I knew part of it was Oakland.
He beat out, let's see, the number 2 MVP in 1992, Kirby Puckett. Was second on the voting. Kirby Puckett hit 329 that year with 19 homers and 110 RBIs and a 7.1 WAR, and could beat a closer.
Rest in peace, Kirby Puckett. Rest in peace.
Frank Thomas also had a really good year that year, but McGwire that year had 42 home runs, 104 RBIs, and finished fourth in voting.
He also pumped his balls full of steroids. So
Probably, but I mean, that's just that'll never happen again.
No, it
I
won't.
could never see a closer winning an MVP, let alone a Cy Young. That's only happened once since then. I believe Gagne did it.
Oh God, remember Eric Gagne? Holy shit, forgot about him.
Yeah,
Didn't Brad? Didn't Brad Lidge?
2006.
Didn't Brad Lidge win the World Series MVP?
It doesn't count, though. Come on, that doesn't count. I'm trying to think here. What was the last closer to win a Cy Young? That was definitely Gagne did it in 2003.
Raleigh Fingers in '81 and Willie Hernandez in '84.
And what year? What did?
No, there was the only three. Gagne didn't win.
Oh, Gagne won in 2003. You're looking at
No.
American League only?
Oh, maybe.
You're looking at MVP.
MVP and Cy Young in a single season. It's Fingers, right. Willie Hernandez, and Eckersley.
So Gagne finished sixth in MVP voting that year.
Okay.
Behind Barry Bonds, who obviously deserved it, hitting 45 home runs that year with a 341 batting average and a 530 on base percentage. 530.
Well, it's because he walked 500 times, probably.
He had 45 home runs and 90 RBIs. They were terrified of him. I think that was the year where they really started intentionally walking him.
Oh, yeah. No shit. 530 on base percentage, I would say so.
Walking him is one thing, but like they were just like, where'd you go?
He had a lot of needle pricks in his butthole, near his butthole.
By the way, the next year, 2004, when Bonds won the award again, he had a 609 on base percentage.
Probably, 200 walks, give or take?
232.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yep.
That's fucking insane.
So he was just hitting every ball that hit the strike zone, he hit out of the park.
Steroids notwithstanding, steroids don't help you hit every single ball. It don't help you hit it further, but it ain't going to help you hit every single ball. Like, unbelievable. He hit, how many singles did he have that year? He had, let me see, 135 hits, of which 75 were extra base hits.
So his MLB records,
60 singles that year.
His MLB records currently stand. Okay, granted, obviously he did steroids. I mean, there's no fucking secret. I don't know how. Like, he's not in the Hall of Fame anyway. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. But 25
he's a Hall of Famer without steroids.
Oh, I know. But 25, but he did steroids, so now he's fucked. But 2,500 career walks, dude. 2,500. Almost 2,600. 609 on base percentage is a fucking single season record forever. It will never be broken. Ever. In this lifetime. 863 slugging percentage in a single season.
Yeah, I mean, never be broken. No. I'm trying to see the all-time walks leaders in a single season. Single season walks record. Okay. Barry Bonds says first, second, and third, and ninth.
So he walked a lot. He actually walked a lot in general, even early in his career.
Yeah.
Like 100 times a year. I mean, there was a time in '89 in Pittsburgh he struck out 58 times and walked 93.
Also, surprisingly on this list, Ted Williams had a lot of walks.
I mean, he hit the ball like a fucking maniac too.
Right, but Ted Williams has 6, 7, and 8 on here, all time single seasons.
That last year he was in San Francisco, he only had 94 hits. How many of those were home runs exactly?
Fucking ridiculous. You think Barry Bonds got a vaccine?
Yeah, he shot it right next to his steroid.
You think he got a vaccine?
Right next to his ass.
He's put so much. He's like, well, might as well. Maybe it'll make my fucking nuts shrink even more.
Maybe it'll make him grow back. Fuck, his balls must be the size of like little marbles. You ain't got no marbles.
No marbles.
No marbles. So I was thinking about something we could talk about next week. By the way, so TV
I
show.
have so many ideas. We
I
just
know.
got to get to.
Well, I know, but TV shows or movies that were turned into better TV shows.
You're killing me here. You're
come,
killing me here.
come on. I know your brain just
Fuck,
exploded.
damn you.
The one that came to mind. I don't know why I was thinking about this movie earlier, but Friday Night Lights. They went from that movie to the probably one of the best TV shows about sports ever. So that just to wet the whistle, whet the appetite of the listeners.
My
Don't do it
favorite
now.
show of all time is a
I
movie that was
I
turned into a TV show.
I know. That's why it's a good thing to talk about.
But it's got to be better than the original. Yeah, God, you're killing me. Fuck you. You know I'm going to spend like a week looking at this.
I'm gonna wake up to 58 fucking messages tomorrow.
Yeah, you are. You're going to wake up and say, hey, do you remember this show? Oh, yeah.
Oh God. See, I knew I was gonna break you there for a second. But that being said, I think
Is it shows that are different, like just take the source material and turned it into, or are we counting continuations of the same story like a Star Wars?
no. It has to be a show like that standalone, same premise,
But no
per se.
relation to the movies.
No
Like,
relation to the movie.
okay. So that puts out Star Wars
That puts out Star Wars.
and a
Yeah,
lot
but
of the Disney shows.
yes.
And I guess like Stargate and stuff too.
Technically yes.
Okay.
Well, maybe because the original Stargate and the show it was spun off of that, but the characters weren't the same, I don't think. Although I've seen Stargate and I watched maybe like one or two episodes of Stargate, the show, because MacGyver was in it. But then again, I never watched any more of it.
God, there's so many. So many.
Ladies and gentlemen, I broke Mark.
Do you know
You're
there's a
welcome.
Casablanca show? God damn it.
This is almost as good as the Nicolas Cage idea. I can't wait for that one.
All right. So Mark and JD on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're all there. So give us a follow. Twitch, we're here. You're watching us here on Twitch. Give us a follow. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora,
Radio,
Audible,
all those
everything.
things. All those things.
Samsung has podcasts coming out now too. I'm going to try and get us on that. I don't know. I just keep getting notifications. Hey, check out Samsung Podcast. And I'm like, I guess I got another thing to get on.
So before we end, did you see this girl? Was it you who sent me this? It might have been you, actually. I was talking about it with somebody else today about the girl who got caught using a fake vaccination card and spelled
Moderna.
Moderna. It's like Medea. It was Moderna with an M-A. If you're gonna,
saw like it was my the one tweet I saw was like my favorite Moderna song is Vogue.
That's it. That's pretty fucking good, actually. So if you're gonna fake a fucking vaccination card, spell the name of the fucking vaccine right.
Google it like it's And if you don't know how to spell Moderna, J&J.
J&J, man. It's
J&J.
easy enough. That's what's on my vaccination card, bro. I mean, it's not hard. And even the other one, it's Pfizer. I mean, you can get if you could probably not spell Pfizer right too if you can't spell Moderna, right?
If you can't spell Moderna, you definitely can't spell Pfizer.
It's modern with an A on the end of it. It's not that hard, okay? Jesus Christ. And fucking Pfizer, at least it's the one that's FDA approved now. Fuck, man.
Moderna. Oh, Moderna. Oh, Moderna.
Moderna. I think my favorite Moderna song is Lucky Star.
All right. Goodbye. I'm leaving after that one. Goodbye.
Good day, sir.
Goodbye.